Hello Rebel and welcome back to my life. Ah crap, I messed up the bed before I started filming. That's right, for the second week in a row, I am not home, but this time I'm in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. Last week Florida, this week Mexico. It's been a very jet-setty kind of life recently, and I like it. So recently I started using the bullet journal to bring a little bit more organization to my life, and I have belatedly realized that this is not a great prop to hold up in this case, because this is not the official bullet journal. This is just a regular notebook that I have turned into a bullet journal. I mean, it still works really well, it just doesn't look as good without the leather cover and the bookmark and all that sort of stuff. But don't worry, my next bullet journal is going to be a lot prettier. Anyway, for starters, I've only been using it for a little bit of time, but it has made my life much more organized than it has ever been since my life. So I do recommend checking out the bullet journal, but that's the subject of a longer video later. What I wanted to talk to you about this week was this week's video. Yeah, I mean the video that you're watching right now, because the video that you're watching right now wasn't going to be this week's video. One of the things I've been using my bullet journal for is to bullet point out my videos before I film them. I do some videos completely ad-libbed. In fact, this one is completely ad-libbed. And other videos I do completely scripted and I record them with a teleprompter. But the vast majority of my videos are basically written down as bullet points, which I then just read off one at a time and then kind of, spit to the camera for a little bit. So I was flying down here yesterday and I had a lot of time on the plane and I started to bullet point out what I was going to talk about in today's video. And so far I have written no less than 4 pages of bullet points on this video. It's a video that's really important to me and I think it's going to be real good and I think you're going to like it, and I absolutely cannot make it today. I don't have the time, I don't have the resources, I really need to do it on my desktop computer at home because my laptop, it's going to have some different footage sources and graphics and all that sort of stuff. And so today's video is not actually going to be today's video. It's going to be maybe next week's video, more likely the week after that. I don't know, it's going to be a bit. That video is going to be coming out when I'm ready for it to come out. Now here's the thing, this has happened to me before. I have an idea for a video and I can't do it on the day that I have the idea for whatever reason, and then I just sort of put it off. And whenever I do end up putting it off, I always have this sort of gut reaction of nervousness or anxiety because I'm afraid that I'm going to forget about it. It's going to fall through the cracks. I'm never going to actually get around to putting the video together and making it as good as it appears in my mind. And to be fair to my own anxieties and worries, that has happened sometimes. There have been really great video ideas that I have had that I put off and then never ended up making. Except that I think it's inaccurate to say that I never ended up making them because they're still there. And the key thing for me, at least, is that if it's a really good idea, if it's really important to me, if it's actually something that I think is worthwhile and is on sort of the purpose of what I'm trying to do in a given moment, I'm not actually going to forget about it. It might drift out of mind for a little bit, but then eventually I will go, oh hey, that idea, I remember that idea, let's do that now. And in fact, on the video that I came up with yesterday, I was on my second page of bullet points when I suddenly went, I've had this idea before, and I put it off. But see, back then when I put it off, that was because it was only a vague concept. It was this sort of weird nebulous idea about a subject that I should talk about, but without any real clear sense of how to approach it. And on the plane yesterday, the way to approach it was what came to mind first. And it was only later that I realized, oh, that subject has been sitting in my mind for over a year now, and I finally just clicked on how to make a video about it. Your experiences might be different, but for me, this is the way my mind works. I have an idea, and if I can't do it right now, I put it on the back burner. And just because it's not top of mind, just because I'm not actively working on it right now, doesn't mean that I'm not working on it on some level. So if there's something that you want to do, if there's something that you desperately want to create, some message you desperately want to get out there, but you can't do it right now, don't feel bad for putting it aside. Keeping a record of it if you want to, maybe creating an entry for it in your bullet journal, but being willing to leave it alone for now and come back to it when you can give it the time and the attention that it deserves. That's all I've got for you today, Rebel. Hey, on the off chance that this is your first time seeing one of my videos, I want to mention that I write books and you can get a free copy of my #1 Amazon bestseller, Nightblade, by signing up for my email list. Link right down there and in the description below. Nightblade also just came out as an audiobook. I'm going to make a longer video about that probably next week, but I'm super stoked and excited, so if you want to check that out, again, link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Friday. Bye!